with more so than anything, and what he's struggling with too. So now as we go into that last set, we're gonna see, can Iceburgy maintain this lead right now, being able to reset this bracket, or can Antwerp come up on top and stay consistent after going through that winner's bracket?
Yeah, absolutely. And in my mind, and he's sticking with the Machamp. Antwerp doubling down, says, no, this is my pick. I'm going to do it. And he's running Whimsical, and he starts off with a nice boost of Synergy and Mimikyu. So seeing the advantage, when you run Whimsical, you really want to pay off like that. Getting a punish for a strange JY. Iceburgy starting off strong. I think there we see, wow, already starting with the mix-up. So the Sand Tombs were so important. To start off, the command grabs that Iceburgy throws out, and already going to a mix-up there in that situation. Before he was going to Sand Tombs, then went to the dive kick and the Stone Edge. Interesting to see how he mixes up his offense, but Antwerp not falling, and in a nice situation here, starting off the second duel phase.
Oh yeah, he's mad right now. You see, right, with the way that Antwerp is playing, he's stacking on so much damage onto Iceburgy. He stuffs him out on the anti-air option, jumps to meet Iceburgy up in the air, and still keeps him against this wall. He stacked on some of that pressure, but you can see that burst meter that's going to be coming up soon for Antwerp. If he can close this out and go into that next round with that burst, this is going to be a scary situation if I were Iceburgy.
Yeah, Antwerp's Machamp looking very strong in that round number 1. And poised to both of the players have burst, but Antwerp's going to have it first off this field phase win. Has burst to go to when he would like. We'll see if he chooses to use it offensively. Not really Antwerp's MO. Wow! Spacing around the Dragon Rush so effectively. That's a really tough move to space effectively around because it's such a large hitbox it advances so far. So watching Antwerp whiff punish that again for the second time in the set, just astounding. Good stuff from Antwerp.
Good spacing too right there. Antwerp does have that burst meter at the ready, but he's shutting down Iceburgy's approach in that air, seeming to be a common habit here as Antwerp consistently does a good job at anti-airing Iceburgy. Does have that burst meter to at least try to bring this back, especially since he was stuck against the wall. Does get that wall bounce, but the Mimikyu coming in, tries to tack on that debuff, but luckily for Iceburgy, he was able to hold shield just in time. He still has that buff to try to make this comeback.
Yeah, absolutely. And now we're seeing the counterattack being so strong. Talked about it before. Machamp's counterattack hits high, and it's such a problem for him in some matchups, but not for this one being an asset. And now into burst. Antwerp with pressure.
Keeping him in the corner, but look at this patience right here from Iceburgy. But so Rock's stuck in a hard place right now, and you saw him trying to claw his way out of that corner, but Antwerp having different problems and having different plans here. He wins the first game.
Yeah, Antwerp planning on just gliding through. He's going to close out game number 1, wants to win this game number 2, and be on his way to clinching up the qualifier spot for the second year in a row for the Pokemon Players Cup 3. He'd pick it up. That would be awesome for him. Iceburgy, though, has to respond. He needs a win here if he's going to stay in this tournament. So Antwerp, again with a whimsical payoff.
Yeah, being able to get some of the extra credit here on now Iceburgy reversing the situation, keeping Antwerp pressured. But you can see the way that Antwerp's spacing is overall. I like that option coming in from Iceburgy, knowing that Antwerp is playing extremely defensively, closes in that gap, gets that grab, and keeps Antwerp pressured on the corner.
Yeah, nice drill placement from Iceburgy there too, just catching the approach from Antwerp. There he does the same exact thing again. Good stuff from Iceburgy. Playing much more patiently, as Vicky was saying. Nice backdash. The movement from Iceburgy is so strong right now.
Yeah, I also like the way that he got himself out of that corner after trying to utilize that attack formation over Antwerp and also trying to make that mix-up happen. He puts himself out of that disadvantage, and now Antwerp has put him right back into it, gets that grab, and now just another one at that. Iceburgy taking a lot of that damage. Does have that Victini online, but the Mimikyu is going to come in from Antwerp to try to get in that debuff, but Iceburgy's ready this time around, managing to block at the same time. It's up to Antwerp, though, as he does keep Iceburgy in this corner. Can he be able to take full advantage of that, take full of that extra credit? But Antwerp, he's taking a lot of that damage, and Iceburgy now has been able to keep himself on the board and activate the Victini.
Yeah, Iceburgy with a 200 HP lead with just 3 seconds on the clock. Machamp too slow to make his way in, so Iceburgy is on the board.
What a close game this has been so far, Burnside. Literally down to the wire for both of these players, and it's been absolutely explosive. The adaptation being played, and Iceburgy being able to work around Antwerp, who does have that burst meter at the ready for this round.
Yeah, nice throw there from Antwerp. He'd been going to really sort of poke offense in the corner very frequently and now mixes it up, goes for the throw, and it pays off huge. Oh, over, but Iceburgy's ready for it. Digs under and lands a drill into a dig combo to punish. That's huge for Iceburgy. Great adaptation there.
And he's trying to build up some of that burst meter right there, too. He does get it at the ready, and this could be a crucial spot for Iceburgy to take this lead. Antwerp answering right back, though, pulling up the burst. Iceburgy is gonna make this comeback right here. He still has that burst meter to work with, too. And now, being able to tack on some of that extra pressure, he's wanted to close in this gap and not allow Antwerp to be able to tack on all that pressure that Machamp could do.
Yeah, now into the Mimikyu. Speaking of pressure, this is just going to keep it going. But Iceburgy says, no, I'm going into my burst, and you're going to deal with my pressure. Oh, what's going to happen?
Oh, and then he answers right back. Iceburgy gets
wow, and
caught.
Machamp comes out on top.
I cannot believe what I'm seeing right now. Burnside, a burst to answer a burst, and Antwerp gets the lead now.
Unbelievable stuff. That must be one of the few situations in the game where Machamp's burst attack will come out on top of a burst clash and just working out in top of Antwerp's favor. Antwerp using the karate chops really well, actually, winning a lot of phases off them. And the spacing so good, just spacing all the way around. Oh no, caught that time with the Dragon Rush.
I love the way that Iceburgy's playing this right now, applying so much of that pressure onto Antwerp. Can he keep it up, closes in that gap, make sure that Antwerp cannot recover, although he manages to land, gets that shield, tries to get the retaliation, but Iceburgy was ready right there, does manage to get the cross up to make sure that he won't get put into a big disadvantage state, rather instead, notice how Antwerp is now respecting Iceburgy a lot more, playing a lot more defensively too.
Yeah, and here's a critical Sand Tomb. This is going to be big damage. Has him in the corner, drops the follow-up, but now gets the mix. Oh, goes for the Sand Tomb. This is going to be a shield break. Oh my goodness, Iceburgy.
Oh, that's it, Iceburgy. He's put himself on board, and the Machamp can't do it.
That setup with the Stone Edge fully charging it, it's such a tough position to be in, and it guarantees a shield break. And now Iceburgy and Antwerp in the grand finals of our region qualifiers for Oceania are on set point. Here we go. This is for the qualifier to move on to the finals of the Pokemon Players Cup 3 for Pokkén Tournament, Iceburgy versus Antwerp.
This is it, Burnside. This is down to the wire. And what a great showcase we're seeing right now from the Oceania region. Antwerp already trying to respect Iceburgy here. It's a matter of Iceburgy just closing in this gap, but Antwerp finding the opening first does get that grab on Wake Up from Iceburgy, and Iceburgy's gonna take a chunk of damage from that.
Yeah, Antwerp looking very strong here in the start. A nice mix-up. He quick released that homing charge. So to get Iceburgy to drop shield and then close it off to win that field phase. But Iceburgy will not be held down, fights back. Knew that was gonna wall splat and catches the Sand Tomb, fully charges. That was so good.
That was all that awareness too. You see, he's trying to get away with trying to rack up some of that burst. The Mimikyu comes in line and does manage to shield it just in time, but Antwerp now has kept Iceburgy in the corner. He's still tacking on a lot of that extra pressure. Antwerp stops him from trying to get the mix-up, and Antwerp now has the first round in the pocket.
Yeah, Antwerp has been using Mimikyu after a phase shift so perfectly with Machamp. He's setting up these guaranteed shield breaks that are just proving to be a little bit too oppressive for Iceburgy, and it's putting Antwerp slightly ahead in the burst race as he's stealing that meter on those guaranteed shield breaks. So now Antwerp sitting with full burst, and Iceburgy finding himself in a position where he has to adapt. Wow, the mind games in the mix-ups. Both players feeling each other out, and Antwerp coming on top. Now Iceburgy's striking back.
Yeah, this is not the position that Iceburgy wants to be in, especially seeing Antwerp is on this match point. He just needs to take one more round right here to progress through that bracket and to qualify. And right now, having that lead and having this burst that he's now activated, there's a lot of pressure coming in. Iceburgy does have that buff at the same time, but he was able to shield on time right there. Antwerp wants to keep applying this pressure, and Iceburgy tries to go in for the cross-up right there, tries to put on some of the extra pressure. Can Antwerp answer back with an anti-air? He's get caught up, and now Iceburgy's going to utilize that burst himself.
Yeah. Oh, is that gonna be a whiff punish? Will he recover in time? It is a whiff punish. So this is gonna be a huge amount of damage. Outrage Smasher is one of the most devastating burst attacks in the game, but 291 HP, too much to overcome. So, but Iceburgy in a very strong position here. Antwerp calls the Mimikyu. Iceburgy just goes in and Stone Edges to react to it. That was so smart.
Oh, now being able to shift the phase right here. Iceburgy, Burnside right now. It is down to the wire. This is it. Who's gonna take it? Iceburgy making that adaptation, making that comeback. But you can see Antwerp still has that lead with the burst meter, and he's gonna get it first.
It's anyone's game in such a serious way. Both players just playing slightly more patiently, but Iceburgy stuffing out the counterattack from Antwerp, playing around it so well, and now has the corner.
Oh, I love the reaction right there from Antwerp. He puts himself out of the corner and now has been able to close it in some of that space. He has that center stage control as well. Iceburgy reversing the situation and being able to recover some of that health at least, but the burst mode's online and Iceburgy's reaching around the corner with the burst mode himself. Can he pull the trigger on it so that way he can take full advantage of Antwerp in the corner? Antwerp is going to pull it out first. He wants to get out of that disadvantage, and you can see the pressure onto Iceburgy as he's forced in this corner. The Mimikyu, can he get something done? He gets out of the burst mode now, and Burnside, this is it. What's gonna happen? Iceburgy dives right in, but Antwerp was ready with the shield.
Yep, and Antwerp getting out of that situation in a similar way, I believe trying to backdash it again. Iceburgy and Antwerp burst neutralized, but Iceburgy in a great situation here, finds a throw, wins the dual phase, and still in burst, limiting Antwerp's offensive options. This is scary. Oh my gosh, the Dragon Rush. What's it gonna be? Finds the drill, and it's gonna be Iceburgy over Antwerp. He's gonna qualify, moving on in Pokemon Players Cup 3, clinching the spot. What an incredible achievement for Iceburgy, taking it over Antwerp.
Burnside.
Wow.
Burnside. What a comeback. Iceburgy made it all the way.